Ketdi. Keyingi qismga o'tamiz. Section 4 ga o'tamiz. Section 4, questions 31 to 40, one word only deyishibdi. The history of weather forecasting. Demak, weather forecastda ob-havoni forecast qilishi, predict qilishi, bashorat qilishi, prognozini berishi anosi ekan, history ekan. Ancient cultures ekan, many cultures believe that floods and other disasters were involved in the creation of the world. Many cultures invented and other ceremonies to make other Xo'p, many cultures invented something and other ceremony. Demak, bu qismda seremoniya degani o'tda endi qanaqadir harakat ana bo'ladi, mujassam bo'ladi. Uchinchidan bu qanaqadir item emas, narsa emas, vesh emas, bu qanaqadir harakat bo'lishi kerak. O'sha harakatga e'tibor beramiz.
Section 4. You will hear a lecture about the history of weather forecasting. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40.
Xo'p, qo'laylik ko'ramiz. Asr ceremonies deyildi. Asr ceremony bo'lgan ekan, qanaqadir ana bo'ladi, bu action bo'ladi. Xo'p, make weather gods friendly. People needed to observe and interpret the sky to ensure there's something. Garantiya qilish uchun observe qilish kerak, interpret sky qilish kerak. 600 yil oldin o'tgan bir narsa started forecasting using weather phenomena such as demak, bu qismda Babiloniyaliklar miloddan avvalgi 650-yilda weather phenomena degani weatherdagi явлениялар, ya'ni holatlar chaqmoq bo'lishi mumkin, momaqaldiroq bo'lishi mumkin, yomg'ir bo'lishi mumkin, shunaqa narsalar, işte such as wind bo'lishi mumkin, thunder bo'lishi mumkin, storm bo'lishi mumkin, shu narsalar bo'ladi, shunaqa narsa bo'ladi. 300 yil bo'lsa miloddan avvalgi Chinese had a calendar made up of a number of something connected to the weather. Demak, nimalari bor ekan? Kalendar bo'lgan ekan, nimadandir iborat bo'lgan ekan, bir nechta nimadandir iborat bo'lgan ekan. O'sha narsalar weather bilan, ya'ni ob-havo bilan bog'liq bo'lgan ekan, nimadir bo'ladi. Bu ham shut up, we're analyzing. Ancient Greeks, more scientific approach, tried to explain the formation of various phenomena, also describe the halos and demak, Aristotle halo bilan nimalardir describe qilgan ekan. Bu demak item bo'ladi. Halos and sun, halos and clouds, shunaqa narsa bo'ladi. Bir narsa. Xo'p, ko'pincha ana shu plural bo'lishi aniq yoki uncountable bo'ladi. O'zi ko'rgansiz, chunki a degan narsa yo'q. Shuning uchun ham yoki bu uncountable bo'ladi yoki bu plural bo'ladi. Xo'p, many proverbs Middle Ages Aristotle were considered accurate. Many proverbs about significance of the color of the something passed on accurate information. Demak, qismda proverblarimiz, ya'ni nima bo'ladi proverb? Maqol bo'lsa kerak, nimanidir rangini muhimligi bo'yicha proverbda accurate information, to'g'ri informatsiya bergan ekan. 15-19 asrlar 15th century scientists recognized the value of for the first time. Nimanidir ahamiyatini tushunib qolibdi. Galileo invented something, nimadir ixtiro qilib yubordilar. Bu qanaqadir texnika bo'ladi. Invented what? Teleskop bo'lishi mumkin, mikroskop bo'lishi mumkin, mikronovka bo'lishi mumkin. Ko'rasiz, 18-asrda Franklin identified the movement of. Franklin nimadir movementini aniqlabdi, operatsiya qilibdi. 19-asrda data from different locations could be sent to the same place by. Demak, boshqa turli xil lokatsiyalardan bitta joyga nimalardir, nima tomondadir, nima orqalidir informatsiya jo'natish. O'sha narsani topishimiz kerak. Ketdik, boshlaymiz.
And answer questions 31 to 40.
Let's go.
In this series of lectures about the history of weather forecasting, I'll start by examining its early history. That'll be the subject of today's talk. Okay, so we'll start by going back thousands of years. Most ancient cultures had weather gods, and weather catastrophes, such as floods, played an important role in many creation myths. Generally, weather was attributed to the whims of the gods, as the wide range of weather gods in various cultures shows. For instance, there's the Egyptian sun god Ra, and Thor, the Norse god of thunder and lightning. Many ancient civilizations developed rites such as dances in order to make the weather gods look kindly on them.
Mana rites dedi, rites seremoniyaning anosi keyword bunaqa sinonimi dances dedi, such as dances dedi. Tansalarni o'qitdi. Dances raqsga tushishi to make the gods look friendly on them, warm on them dedi qisqasi. Many cultures developed rites such as dances. Javob dance bo'ladi. Rites keyword o'tda seremoniyani in order to make the weather gods look kindly on them. Mana weather gods friendly qilish uchun. Qisqasi tansiz bo'ladi javob.
But the weather was of daily importance. Observing the skies and drawing the correct conclusions from these observations was really important. In fact, their survival depended on it. It isn't.
Survival. Xo'p, observe qilish, skyni observe qilish, conclusionlar olish juda ham muhim bo'lgan dedi. Survival. In fact, their survival dependent on it. Ularni yashab qolishi o'shanga to'g'ri bo'lgan. Mana weather of daily importance, observing turibdi. Drawing the correct conclusion bu interpreting turibdi. To ensure was really important. In fact, their survival dependent on it. Ya'ni ularni yashab qolishi shunga bog'liq bo'lgan.
Known when people first started to observe the skies, but at around 650 BC, the Babylonians produced the first short-range weather forecasts based on their observations of clouds and other phenomena.
O'z ko'rganda other phenomena using weather phenomena dedi. Undan keyin clouds dedi. Undan oldin clouds dedi. Shuning uchun ham cloud bo'ladi javob. O'z ko'rganingizek javoblarni tartibda bermaydi, birma-ketin bermaydi. Hop, this is first short-term weather forecast based on the observation of clouds and other phenomena dedi. Shuning uchun ham cloud bo'ladi javob.
The Chinese also recognized weather patterns, and by 300 BC, astronomers had developed a calendar which divided the year into 24 festivals, each associated with a different weather phenomenon.
Festivals bo'ladi. 24 festivals each divided into weather festivals yozib qo'yaylik. Keyin o'qib beraman. Shu hammasi weather phenomenga bog'liq bo'lgan festivallar bo'lgan. Yozib qo'yibdi. Weather patterns by this year astronomers had developed a calendar which divides the year into 24 festivals. 24 ta festivalga bo'lib tashlagan. Each associated with a different weather phenomenon. Har bittasi turli xil weather phenomenga ushlangan bo'lgan degan gapni berishdi.
The ancient Greeks were the first to develop a more scientific approach to explaining the weather. The work of the philosopher and scientist Aristotle in the 4th century BC is especially noteworthy, as his ideas held sway for nearly 2,000 years. In 340 BC, he wrote a book in which he attempted to account for the formation of rain, clouds, wind, and storms. He also described celestial phenomena such as halos, that is, bright circles of light around the sun, the moon, and bright stars, and comets. Many of
Comets dedi. Halos dedi, haloni tushuntirdi, cometsni ham aytib ketdi keyin. Qisqasi ko'p gapirdi. Xo'p, mana describe celestial phenomena such as halos bizda keyword dedi bu. Haloni qaragandan keyin topishimiz kerak edi. Bright circles around the sun and the moon and the comets dedi. Qisqacha comets.
his observations were surprisingly accurate. For example, he believed that heat could cause water to evaporate. But he also jumped to quite a few wrong conclusions, such as that winds are breathed out by the earth. Errors like this were rectified from the Renaissance onwards. For nearly 2,000 years, Aristotle's work was accepted as the chief authority on weather theory. Alongside this, though, in the Middle Ages, weather observations were passed on in the form of proverbs, such as red sky at night, shepherd's delight, red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning.
Sky bo'lar ekanda. Red sky. Ko'rganingizdek, muhimligi skyni.
Many of these are based on very good observations and are accurate, as contemporary meteorologists have discovered.
Ko'rganingizdek.
For centuries, any attempt to forecast the weather could only be
Keling. Okay. See you.
based on personal observations. But in the 15th century, scientists began to see the need for instruments.
Instruments bo'lar ekan. Sees a need for instruments. Instrumentlarni qadrlab boshlabdilar. Mana any attempt for that could be based on personal observation, but in the 15th century scientists began to see the need for instruments. Demak, bu qismda see the need for ni recognize the value of bilan sinonim qo'ramiz, instruments bo'ladi javob.
Then, the only ones available were weather vanes to determine the wind direction and early versions of rain gauges. One of the first, invented in the 15th century, was a hygrometer, which measured humidity. This was one of many inventions that contributed to the development of weather forecasting. In 1592, the Italian scientist and inventor Galileo developed the world's first thermometer.
Thermometer. Thermometer bo'ladi javob. Thermometer. 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 Ko'ramiz, to'g'rimi xatomi? Italian scientist inventor developed the world's first thermometer. Thermometer.
Student Torricelli later invented the barometer, which allowed people to measure atmospheric pressure. In 1648, the French philosopher Pascal proved that pressure decreases with altitude. This discovery was verified by English astronomer Halley in 1686. And Halley was also the first person to map trade winds. This increasing ability to measure factors related to weather helped scientists to understand the atmosphere and its processes better. And they started collecting weather observation data systematically. In the 18th century, the scientist and politician Benjamin Franklin carried out work on electricity and lightning in particular. But he was also very interested in weather and studied it throughout most of his life. It was Franklin who discovered that storms generally travel from west to east.
Storms. Stormlarni movementni ko'rgan ekan. Storms. Shoshmaydi-da, movementni ko'rishdan kerak. Ko'pchilik menimcha masalan ko'raman-da, masalan ko'pchilik masalan menda ham shunaqa предвкушение bo'ldi. Ko'pchilik odam mana electricity yoki lightningni olib qo'yardi-da, weatherni olib qo'yishi mumkin edi. Lekin bu yerda yozib qo'yibdi. General travel from west to east, demak storm bo'lishi aniq odda. O'sha uchun ham e'tiborli bo'linglar. Tez yopishmaydi masalan. Electricity, wow, electricity lightning emas, stormni ko'rsatdi, movementni ko'rsatdi. General travel from west to east deb.
In addition to new meteorological instruments, other developments contributed to our understanding of the atmosphere. People in different locations began to keep records, and in the mid-19th century, the invention of the telegraph made it possible for these records to be collated.
Telegraph.
This led, by the end of the 19th century, to the first weather services.
Shut up. Xo'p, different locationdan olingan datalarni telegraf orqali jo'natib olish kerak. People in different locations began to keep records in the mid-19th century. The 19th century invention of the telegraph made it possible for these two records being collated. Demak, collate birlashtirishga sabab bo'lgan ekan. Shu bilan bugungi darsimiz o'z oxiriga yetdi. O'zingizning ko'rganligingda hamma narsani analiz qilib tashladik. Hamma joy qizil yashil bo'lib ketdi. Tushunmay qolgan bo'lsangiz shu anonimni ko'rib olishning mumkin shu. Buni ham tashlab beramiz. Polnicha ko'rib olib, analiz qilishning mumkin. Iltimos voqeatlashinglar, hamma narsa nima bo'lib ketadi. Просто voqeatlashga e'tibor berish kerak и ishdan qochmaslik kerak, mehnatdan qochmaslik kerak. Sizlarga omad. See you in the next lesson. Bye bye guys. That's it.